Maybe we can. Actually, about you growing up,
Where
essentially.
was I? Oh,
Yeah.
I was growing up. How old
Yeah.
was I?
So let me know. Let's wait for these guys to start recording.
Okay.
All right, we're good. So,
So I was, let's see, where was I? In the sixth grade, huh?
right.
And yeah, it was a really bad time because the I guess I guess human nature was that there's a layer on the surface that gets peeled off in a hard time, and yeah, and then there's the bad feelings about Japanese just came to the surface, and it was more or less universal, not completely, but yeah, it was a tough time then. And the funny thing is that when we got home, and we were sitting around the dining room table, and nobody talked about those things. So, but we had to all experience it ourselves individually and sort of live with it. But I had problems with some bullying and sometimes and there was one teacher there that gave me a bad time. But I was more or less saved because the teacher that I had just moved from lobby to get me back into her class, and so and she was sympathetic to me, and not that she liked me, but she treated me fairly, so, and I appreciated that. Anyway, I remember this one experience where I was walking home and I saw my brother, one of my older brothers, in the creek. He was washing blood off of his face. And I thought, man, that's dirty water to be washing your face. But I knew exactly what had happened to him, and but I never said anything to him. And when we got home and had dinner around the table there, neither one of us mentioned anything like that. Anyway, there was a decree by the I guess by the army, which was in charge of the security around California, that all Japanese be excluded from Alameda, where a lot of our family lived, and so that resulted in a lot of our family moving into our house, which was in Oakland, and there were a lot of people in the house, although I think we all fit in. Anyway, the we lived like that for a couple of months. In fact, one of my cousins, the same age as me, ended up in the same class as me. So, and but after a few months of that, all of a sudden we got word that from one of my brothers was in the playground, and my brother said, "Come on, we're gonna go home." And so that's how I left school. I just left home from the playground. So, but what we did was my father and and the family, and along with a couple of uncles and the families, packed into cars and went up to Walnut Grove and lived sort of like the, a Grapes of Wrath existence, on the road, and cooking from picnic stuff. And we all went up there where one of my uncles had arranged to find a place for us to live. It was an abandoned schoolhouse there in Walnut Grove. And so from there, living there, the men went to work in the asparagus field. It was harvest time for asparagus. So they went to work there, and the women went to work in the packing sheds, packing them in the bundles that you see in the stores. And anyway, we did that for a couple of months. I don't know if the asparagus season was over yet, but soon after that, the government then decreed that all Japanese be relocated out of California and the West Coast. So we were sent to the camps that you see. There were about 10 camps or something like that. And we at first went to from Walnut Grove. We went to Turlock, which was a racetrack, and so we lived in the horse stalls for a while, for about a month, and so that we can be all gathered, I guess, in preparation for moving to the camps. And so after maybe a month, we moved to Arizona. It was called the Gila River Relocation Authority or something, or Rivers, Arizona or something. It was some few miles between Phoenix and Tucson, on an Indian reservation, and so that's where we ended up, that's where the camp was, and it turns out most of the relatives ended up in the same place, because I guess, unbeknownst to me, they were around Walnut Grove at the same time. The whole family was the whole Grader family, and but that camp had actually a second camp starting up, and my father said he knew how to cook, so he got a job as a cook in Camp 2. So that's how we ended up in Camp 2, which is about 5 miles away from the first camp. So, and that's where we spent the war, and with 7 kids, we had, the room was like this, like it's 25 feet by 25 feet, and it didn't have wooden walls like this one does. It had sheetrock walls, and there was no filling in between the cracks in the sheetrock, so you had to find a way to get those cracks filled. And we went to the mess hall for a while to eat mess hall style, but later on, my parents devised tables and chairs and everything, scrounged some tables and chairs and made a dining room table. And from then on, my parents went to the mess hall and got food to bring back to our barracks, and so we all sat and ate dinner together. And I think that was just dinner, not lunch or breakfast, but at least one meal a day. And after a while, I guess the state of Arizona said that, hey, you guys don't have a school there, you better build a school. So they started a school